U.S. forces launched strikes in Nigeria on Christmas, targeting ISIS forces. The purpose here was to address the persistent threat of terrorist and violent extremism. President Donald Trump announced the operation on social media last night. The U.S. Africa Command, which oversaw the offensive, says an initial assessment shows the strikes killed multiple terrorists. For more on this, we now turn to White House reporter Willie James Inman, who is following the president in West Palm Beach today. Willie, want to ask about the timing and location of these strikes. Why Nigeria and why now?
Hey there, Chanel, and good afternoon to you. Well, the president teased this potential military action just last month, November 1st to be exact. He posted a statement on Truth Social, essentially threatening to cut off aid from Nigeria if they didn't work to protect Christians. And then he also ordered the Pentagon to prepare for potential military action. And that's exactly what happened yesterday, with more than a dozen Tomahawk cruise missiles being shot at ISIS militants. And as you said, the initial assessment from the Pentagon is that some of these ISIS militants were killed in this camp. Now, we do know that the part of Nigeria that was struck, northwest Nigeria, is known for violent group activity. On top of that, the president was hoping to convey a message to ISIS, giving this strike as a Christmas gift. He said in an interview with Politico that he initially anticipated that this would take place on Wednesday, but that he moved it to Christmas Day, in large part for symbolic reasons. Of course, Christmas Day being a very important holiday for Christians around the world. So the president forcefully using not only that messaging, but the military response to send a message directly to ISIS in Nigeria. And if you listen to officials like the Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth, and the Foreign Minister of Nigeria, this continues to be an ongoing operation, and we could potentially see more strikes down the road, Chanel.
Okay, Willie, and while I have you, also want to ask about Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. We understand that he will meet with President Trump this coming Sunday in Florida for some ongoing peace talks. What more do we know about this meeting and where those talks stand right now?
Yeah, that's right. And Zelensky himself confirmed this in statements in the past day. And we know from that interview with Politico as well, the president confirming not only this meeting with Zelensky on Sunday, but the meeting that we had anticipated to take place on Monday with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. So the president working on both Sunday, meeting with Zelensky, and Monday meeting with Netanyahu. Of course, we wait and see in terms of what happens with this meeting between Zelensky and the president. We know that behind the scenes, White House officials, including Special Envoy Steve Witkoff and the president's son-in-law, who is not a White House official, I'll note, but he is involved in these negotiations between Russia and Ukraine, working behind the scenes to bring both sides to an agreement. We know that Zelensky has seen the multi-point plan presented by the Americans. The Russians have seen it. They've gone back and forth and made edits to that document. So perhaps that is the sticking point there. And that is exactly what President Trump and President Zelensky will be discussing when they meet here in South Florida on Sunday, Chanel.
Okay, lots to follow here. Willie James, thank you.